Hello YouTube! Welcome back. I got another little video for a little segment I like to call Jankarat's Junkyard, where I go over a crazy little brainchild deck of mine because I'm bored or I have so many cards in my binder that I need to do something with them. Or better yet, I just have some sort of urge to try and do something with some cards and build a deck that just does not see enough play. Anyway, so starting things off, which will probably be a big giveaway for what this deck is, we got 4 copies of Ransenmon, if I'm saying the name right. His effect is your turn. When this card is trashed due to activating this Digimon's Digiburst, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 1000 DP. Next is Ransenmon. When this card is trashed due to activating this Digimon's Digiburst, return this card to its owner's hand. Then we're running Salamon. With its on deletion, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, trigger recovery 1 as a nice little means to keep you alive. Then a little something extra, we are actually running Salamon X Antibody. Digivolve on top of Salamon for free. When digivolving, look at the top card of your security stack. You may add it to your hand. If you do, recover 1. This way, if you have a Salamon and it has not yet died, or you chose to not let it die, or if by some chance it did not die when it was supposed to, at the very least you can digivolve, get a draw out of it, and at least look at what is in your security and then draw from there. Next we have Mimicmon. This champion basically has on play, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, gain 2 memory. And it's already a 4 cost to hard play and 2 to digivolve. So if we can manipulate our security, this actually comes into play as a 1 cost. Or not 1 cost, 2 cost, pardon me. Alright, next we have 4 copies of Digimon. Another champion that only costs 4 to hard play or 2 to evo into. On play, if you have 3 or fewer securities, draw 2. Then we have 4 copies of Philemon, if I'm saying his name correctly. Main Digiburst 2, which is where you trash 2 of this Digimon's Digivolution cards to activate the effect below. One of your opponent's Digimon gains security attack minus 2 until the end of your opponent's next turn. So if you're in a pinch, you can go ahead and use this Digiburst ability to make your opponent no longer be a threat for a turn. Ideally, though, with this deck, you want to probably maintain keeping your sources until you reach your Mega. Now, our level 5s. Stiphilemon, if I'm saying his name correctly. When digivolving, if this Digimon has 1 Digivolution card, you may place up to 2 level 4 or lower yellow Digimon cards from your hand at the bottom of this Digimon's Digivolutions in any order. Then draw 1 card for each card placed this way. So this makes it so that way if you do have to hard slam your champions, and the next turn you evo into this, this is going to allow you to get some sources from your hand underneath this guy, because you know you're going to be wanting them for digibursting later. Inheritable effect. Your turn. When this card is trashed due to activating this Digimon's Digiburst, one of your Digimon gains security attack +1. Now, another level 5 we're running in this deck is going to be War Growlmon. That's right, there was a time when War Growlmon was not red, not just purple, but he was yellow. Did they have a complete line for him? No, which is kind of weird. But, regardless, he has main Digiburst 2, of where you trash 2 of your sources. One of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 4,000 DP for the turn. Again, you'd rather try and save your Digibursting for once you hit your Mega level at the right time, but it's nice to have the option. Inheritable. Your turn. While you have 3 or fewer security cards, this Digimon gets plus 1,000 DP. So I admit, probably not the most impressive inheritable, but eh. Now here's the real kicker in terms of what you might want to try and Evo into for level 5. Because again, you want to get inheritables and you also want to get sources for Digibursting later. So the best way to do that is to DNA any 2 stacks into this guy. Now you're not going to get any kind of amazing amount of DP reduction with his effect, and you're definitely not going to hit the threshold for him to gain a boost in his DP by himself. But again, we're using him mainly as a way to get more sources for Digibursting. So what does he do? He can Digivolve for 4 from any color. He can DNA from any color level 4 and another level 4 of any color. When Digivolving, you may place 1 level 5 or lower Digimon card from your trash under him. And then your turn. Or actually, no, pardon me. I did not read it completely. So what he does is when Digivolving, you may place 1 level 5 or lower Digimon card from your trash under this Digimon as its bottom Digivolution card. Then, up to 4 of your opponent's Digimon get minus 1,000 DP for each of this Digimon's colors until the end of your opponent's turn. And it has your turn effect. This Digimon is treated as also having the colors of its Digivolution cards. And while this Digimon has 4 or more colors, it gets plus 4,000 DP. This deck is primarily just going to be yellow. You're not going to get any other colors. So at max, you're looking at him being considered to be white and yellow during your turn, which means minusing 2,000 DP. All right, now on to some of the main events. We have Ransenmon Fury Mode, followed by Ransenmon. Now, the way these guys work is you want to Digivolve into Fury Mode first, and it will allow you to go into your regular Ransenmon. So, what happens when you do this? So Ransenmon can Digivolve from a yellow for 3 or a purple for 3. End of attack. You may Digivolve this Digimon into Ransenmon in your hand, ignoring its Digivolution requirements and without paying its Digivolution cost. End of your turn. Trash the top card of your security stack. So you really want to try and Evo into this the same turn that you know you can follow up and go into your regular one. And on top of that, he has the inheritable that says your turn. When this card is trashed as a Digivolution card by a Ransenmon's effect, unsuspend one of your Digimon, and it gets plus 3000 DP for the turn. Now, as for Ransenmon himself, he says, when digivolving into this card in your hand, the memory cost of its digivolution is equal to the number of cards in your security stack. If you have 0 cards, then the memory cost is 1. Main, once per turn, digiburst up to 4 cards. And the effect is one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP for the turn for each card trashed by this card's effect. So at max, you can do up to 12k DP if you decide to digiburst 4 cards. But the beauty of this deck, outside of course wanting to have multiple sources built up underneath Chimera, or even just going straight in your regular line, is you want to be able to somehow get this kind of chain going. You rather want to be Evo straight from Digimon to Ransen, and then regular Ransenmon. That's how you want to do your stack. The rest of it, not so much. But this is the main important parts. Because what's going to happen is you digivolve into this, you swing, its end of attack effect will trigger. It's going to allow you to digivolve. Then you can trigger Ransenmon's effect and choose to digiburst the level 5 and Fury mode away. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to unsuspend, gain plus 3000 DP power, plus security attack plus 1, as well as minusing at least 6000 DP on something and popping it. Potentially. That's just from digibursting those 2. You can choose to digiburst 2 other things. Now, the other good ideal stack to go for will be to DNA any 2 level 4s into this. Have Digimon in trash. Chimeramon will see he's level 5 or lower when you DNA into him and absorb him automatically. Now you can go up to Ransenmon Fury mode and then proceed like I just now mentioned. Swing, get to Evo for free, activate Digiburst, and now you're unsuspended and swinging again with a security attack. On top of having more sources underneath you if you did use Chimeramon to Digiburst away for that turn or a future following turn. Now, let's go over what we do have in terms of tamers and options for the deck. I'm running 3 copies of Tai Kamiya. That's right, Tai Kamiya actually was yellow at one point. Not just red, not just black. Your turn. While you have 3 or fewer security cards, all of your Digimon get plus 1000 DP. That's pretty nice considering what this deck already tries to do. Your turn. When an opponent's Digimon is deleted by dropping to 0, you may suspend this tamer to gain memory. Next, we're also running 3 copies of Kari Chimera. So, start your turn. If you have 3 or fewer security cards, just gain memory. As for our options, I'm running a single copy of Blinding Ray. Its effect is just to straight up trash the top card of your security stack, then gain 2 memory. So if you're at 0 security, you can still play this card, and you will gain 2 memory. Then Acid Injection. For 1 cost, you trash the top card of your security stack. Then for one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 5,000 DP. Security effect is to add this card to your hand. And then on top of that, I'm also running 3 copies of Quasi-Blast, if I'm even pronouncing that correctly. This is basically Ransenmon's signature move. When using this card from your hand, its memory cost is equal to the number of cards in your security stack. So it already costs 5, so it's only going to get cheaper. Main effect, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3,000 DP for the turn. Then, one of your Digimon with Ransenmon, or actually no, pardon me, I am misreading that. When using this card from your hand, its memory cost is equal to the number of cards in your security stack. So it will only get cheaper. Main, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3,000 DP for the turn. Then, one of your Ransenmon gains security attack plus for the turn. So this just sweetens our combo even more, because now we're minusing DP a little bit more, and we're getting security attack. But yes, again, coming from the Jank Rat's corner, I issue this deck out to you all to try and build and play it, and then report back to me some findings of how it did for you. Did it do well against the big bads of the current meta? Was it fun at your locals? Did it throw people off? Did you have any comments or suggestions of what to swap out and change up in the lineup to make it better? By all means, let me know. But again, this game is so fun and it's so affordable. You can build this deck. I mean, without even really looking at the prices, I could say this deck outside of the Chimeramon probably doesn't even cost you $5, to be honest. But anyway, this has been prodigious. Talking about something that I've brainstormed over here in the Jank Rat's corner. Until next time.